So, hello, I'm Thijs Lemmens. I will present a little demonstration on some features, solutions we developed in a GDPR context. We will start off with a demonstration of the detection module, where we will discover personal and sensitive data in new documents. Later on, we will show how we can automatically protect these documents. And then how we can share the documents with people not having the rights to see the document. And in the end, we will show a little bit about how to audit what everybody has done on a certain document or on all documents, and a possible detection breach. Well, first of all, personal data. This demo will show you that we can detect a full name and also, for example, a Belgian national number, and that is considered as personal data and will be labeled accordingly. Later on, the second demo will be sensitive data, where we will discover credit card numbers. We will show this demo using Alfred Desktop. That's our desktop, Windows desktop view to Alfresco. And it's a view on Alfresco with the ease of use of Windows Explorer with drag and drop functionalities. The easiest way to show that is to just jump to the interface. I open a folder in Alfresco. You can see it's opened on the right side, where we already have one folder below. You can also see this on the left side. What I will do now is show you how to add 2 new documents. 2 new documents are added, and automatically some information is detected. So on the right side, we have a metadata pane. If I select a document, then the information about that document is shown in the metadata pane. I can now open up a special GDPR panel, and we can see that there are names detected, in this case one name, John Doe, and therefore this document is labeled as containing personal data. Also, this document contains a national, Belgian national number, and that document is also labeled with this number, and we can also detect the language of the document. If you look now in the preview panel on the right, or loading the preview, we can see actually that the number is inside and also the name is inside. Now back to the left side, there is a color coding for personal data and sensitive data. So for each user, it is immediately visible that this document contains personal data, and this document I'm selecting now contains sensitive data. If I open now the metadata pane for the payslip, I can also see some GDPR-related data. We found 2 credit card numbers, and actually also a Belgian national number. Because we detected credit card numbers, the document is labeled as sensitive data. I open the preview. This is a bigger document. The national number is found here. And on the bottom, we can find the 2 credit card numbers. So this concludes the demonstration of the detection part. So for the purpose of the demo, we will use Alfred Finder, or web view to Alfresco with a search-oriented interface, to demonstrate how we can protect documents based on this metadata. Alfred Finder will be connected to exactly the same Alfresco, so we will be able to find the documents we uploaded with Alfred Desktop. We will show in this demonstration how different profiles can see different documents based on the role they have in the company. The first role we have is Kelly. She is the DPO, Data Protection Officer, and therefore she needs to be able to see all documents. like documents that don't contain any sensitive data, also documents that contain personal information, and documents that contain sensitive information. Then we have Joe from HR, and because Joe is in HR, he can see documents containing personal information. Why? Because he needs to work with CVs, for example. And then on the last two profiles are both engineers. Those are Carla and Toon, and they don't have to see any personal nor sensitive information, only documents that are not protected because they use technical documents. So if we now continue with the user Kelly, I switch to a browser and I will log in as the user Kelly. So for each of these profiles, I have a different browser to log in with the right profile. So this is Alfred Feiner. I will start with putting a search for PDF documents in the search box. And now I receive search results. So now we can see a bit of the structure of Alfred Feiner. On the left side, we have facets. So you can you can open this and you can see that there are actually documents uploaded by Alice Beecher and by administrator. And it's possible to filter further by clicking on these. If I click on one of the search results, so this is the search results panel, the preview and metadata are opened on the right side. So in this case, we have 4 PDFs in Alfresco. The first 2 ones were already uploaded before the demo. The last 2 ones are the ones we uploaded using Alfred Desktop. So if I now open the document with the Belgian number, we can see on the right side in the preview, we can see the same document. And there are some panels here, and we added a panel for GDPR related data, and it contains the same data we saw in Alfred Desktop before, like the Belgian national number, and that it's labeled personal data, and also John Doe, the name we found in the document. The second one is the payslip. We see here that this one is marked as sensitive data, and we found also a Belgian national number, and we found 2 credit card numbers. So this is the same information we saw before in Alfred Desktop. Now, this profile, Carla can see everything. So she saw the documents. This is Kelly, sorry. She can see everything. So documents containing personal data and sensitive data, and also non-protected documents. If we now go to our profile, Joe. Joe is from HR. I will now log in as Joe. And I will do exactly the same search. The result is slightly different. Because Joe doesn't have access to sensitive documents, now we only have 3 results. And for the rest, it's all the same. We can see GDPR related metadata and click on all the results. Then we have our last 2 profiles, Carla and Toon, the engineers. I will start off with Carla. Carla and Toon only see 1 document because the other documents are marked as personal or sensitive. But this one is no problem to see. If we go to Toon, same thing. So now we showed actually that documents are automatically protected. Why? Because GDPR related metadata is detected and the document is classified in a GDPR way, and the different roles are actually applied on the metadata. So now back to the slides. What we can show now is Kelly can see everything. But Joe, for example, from HR, he can see personal documents. Let's say Joe wants to ask Carla, an engineer, to review a resume of Thijs Levens, which contains personal data and is therefore protected. Then he needs to use a share link because Carla cannot see the document as an engineer. What Joe can do is share a temporary link, only limited, valid for a period of 1 week. And that way Carla will be able to see the document anyway. If we now switch to Joe again, let's open the CV. We can see this is a CV. And we have now a special button, share link. And I now want to share it with Carla. I select Carla and I press the share button. Now a link is generated containing all the information, also the user, that it's actually Carla I want to send the link to. Now I can send this link on a chat application or an email. But let's say that Carla receives the link and makes a mistake and shares it with Tom. So now I go to the profile of Tom, and Tom will try to open the link. This is not possible because this document is not meant for Tom, it's meant for Carla, and we will get a message that Tom cannot open this link. If we now go to the profile of Carla, she uses the same link. She is able to open the document. And what we can see now is that this is not exactly the same document because a watermark is added. On the right upper corner, we can see a QR code, and this QR code contains information that allows the DPO to track this document back to the original and knows who opened or printed this document. And also there's a watermark indicating that Carla opened this GDPR document. This is a visible indication for Carla that this document contains sensitive or personal information, and she should be careful with it and not print it, for example. So if we now go back to the presentation, we see here that Joe successfully shared a link with Carla and she could open it. The link is valid for 1 week. Carla accidentally shared the link with Tom and he tried to open it, but that didn't work. Now, Carla was able to review the CV and give information that should allow HR, Joe, to hire someone or not. Now, to the last part of this demonstration, we will have another one later. We will show you how we can audit what happened and detect breaches. And we will go for this to another web interface. This web interface is called Kibana, and I will reload the recent results. So what you can see here is a table actually of what happened. So the first column is the time when happened an action, when the action happened, and then the user who did the action, and then what kind of action it was, like read, and we also have create, and also GDPR access or GDPR access failure. And in the last column, what document are we talking about? And here we have a nice visualization about the number of actions that happened during a certain amount of time. And now we are filtering for the last 15 minutes. And we can see we start off with actually the actions we did in Alpha Desktop. We added 2 new documents and we were able to view those documents. Later on, all of the users like Kelly, Joe, Carla, Tom read some documents. That's when we clicked and we watched actually the preview. And then we went back to Joe from HR, going to that specific CV document. and Joe generated a GDPR link. And the first one who tried to access this document was Tom. I can now open actually the details of this document. And the event that happened was an access failure on a GDPR protected document. And in the message, we can clearly see failed to access GDPR link issued for a different user, Carla. So this is very clear. Later, Carla tried to open the same link, and this document was for her, so that was successful. So we can see now that Carla accessed the GDPR document. Another feature of this interface is that we can actually filter on the different data in this table. Like, for example, if we only want to see the actions that happened on the CV of Thijs Levens, we can actually press a filter button. And now I will close the things I opened, and I have only the results for this specific documentation. So what we showed was that we actually can follow up all the actions that happened on our document repository. Also, breach detection, because Tom tried to open a document that was not meant for him.